All right, g'day. Welcome back to The Head Angle. I'm Tom Borman. Stoked to be sitting here with Matt Holmes again. How you doing, Matt?
Very good, man. It's a good little thing we got going on here, talking about the I guess the past, present, and future of BMX.
Getting our nerd on.
That's
Nothing
right.
like it. Well, I guess it's only too appropriate that we sit here above Helen Wheels BMX shop in Lumia in Campbelltown with Campbelltown's favourite son, Mr. Chris O'Donnell, aka Danger.
Danger One.
Hell yeah, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, boys.
For sure.
Bit of a time warp to be back here. Got my first helmet down the road a couple of years ago.
Couple of years ago.
Let's strap in.
Hell yeah, dude. Love it. Oh, man. I guess jumping right in, BMX. Where, how did you get started? When? How old were you?
Man, just BMX has been a bit of a trip and just like a broadcast of my life. My uncle kind of got me into it with, went to like a comp of his when I was probably like 8 or 9. And that was like the Fairfield ramps, the Spine mini comp going on. As soon as I got there, just ditched my mum and was like just running amongst everyone else around there, you know? And just talking to all these guys, and they're like, who the fuck is this kid, you know? Get away from me to ride my comp. I'm better get in here and just do my shit. So I just grabbed some random dude's bike and was riding in the mini ramp behind the comp, just causing ruckus, just trying to turn around and falling over, eating shit. I think some dude even tried to do that gap into the back mini, and I'm in there. Just like, sorry, bro. And then from that point onwards, it's like just taking a bike that like was something you'd use as transport and like making more of it, you know? Like I just seen like there was more of a purpose than using it for just going to your friend's house, you know? Like more freedom, more excitement, expression. And yeah, kind of took it from there.
Same thing got us all hooked, I guess.
Yeah. You grew up out here at Campbelltown?
No, I grew up in Holsworthy. My dad was in the army out there. I was probably about 4 to 14 when I was living out there. So I met like a lot of my friends out there that like skating, bike riding, doing just a bunch of everything, which was cool because everyone was like bouncing off each other, you know. There was like just a small, tight, like knit community that was like do whatever the fuck you want. We all went to school together. It's like high school, primary, all that shit. And moved out to Campbelltown when I was 14 and kind of took it from there.
Yeah, and was the park built then?
Yeah, the park was there. Funny enough, when I was living out where I used to live, I went there on my skateboard like with my friend's mum and was like, this place is fucking crazy. I see my uncle there too. He's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I just got like a lift out, hanging out here and shit. And then when I moved out here, I lived about 12 Ks away, so a bit of a mission. My parents were fucking busy and they were going to drive me down every day, so I just had to ride basically to and from. It's like a 40-minute ride at times at its best, and took it from there.
Hell yeah. Now your uncle, he was the original Danger Man in my eyes. I mean,
He technically still is.
He still is, yeah. I guess I'd ridden
Danger
with him.
Man, you're just Danger, full stop.
I was Danger Boy for a while.
That's it, you were too, yeah. Because I think I moved up to Sydney and someone said, like Danger's riding. I'm like, oh, rad. You know, like I remember this guy from comps. It wasn't, it was you.
Yeah. I'm like that kid. I'm like that thing that like never went away. You know what I mean? Like, out of all the people that I could say that, even the people that I first rode with out in Holsworthy when I first started there, like Bowman Jones, I went to school with him. So like he was probably the only one that I know that's probably still around, still kicking it and still doing it.
Shout out to the Reverend.
Yeah, Bowman and Harley, man. Growing up with them, building trails, riding around at like the cold jumps that were there, like just raising havoc, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, Bowman's still out there. He's not riding much. He broke his elbow pretty bad.
Dully, yeah, he got worked. We were both there actually.
Yeah.
Dude, he got smashed to pieces.
He's painting up a storm now, though.
He sure is, man. Him and Harley, both talented people, both fucking cool people, man. They do what's right for them, you know. They don't get caught out of things that don't make sense to them, and they fucking make the best of whatever opportunity they have, you know.
For sure.
Going back to your, I guess, childhood, and you probably would have had a few little kids sort of bikes and that. What was your first like legit BMX bike? I mean, I think I've got a story of how the link of how you got your first legit bike. Actually, Matt and I are both involved with this story, which is pretty cool.
My first legit bike was like my brother's my brother's bike. It was like an ex Danger Man bike, a Haro Blammo. Then it was like an old DMC Pro. just frame.
The
and
beige one?
Yeah, the beige one.
Dude,
had that
I
brake.
remember
That was
Danger
even,
Man riding that
That's like the
thing.
first gyro tabs that were ever like kind of welded onto the frame, but like just not at the end, like all the way around, like a circumference of it.
They wanted to cut your kneecap off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking probably cut my knee a couple of times on those things. And that was just a fresher bike put together, whatever parts we had laying around. But that meant the most to me, you know what I mean? Like it was someone you looked up to in the family, someone you looked up to just in general. And then getting to ride something that was them, it's like a nostalgic feeling. But moving back forth into like my first legit bike that was like mine, brand new, was a Bagley 4-star.
Mosh.
Yeah, that thing was awesome.
Funny story with that
I
one.
got it for my birthday too. It was like this crazy trip. I'm like, I knew I was kind of getting a bike for my birthday. I'd come home from school every day and look in the garage. I'm like, fuck, it's not here yet. What's going on? Is this real? Am I getting a fucking bike? And then one day, like my uncle turned up in his van with this bike. I'm like, fuck, like just a trip.
Funny story with the link of that bike was my friend I grew up with, Harry Hill, who actually was the person who introduced me to Matt. It was Act 1, and that was a raffle prize.
It was too.
That I guess you guys and Mike and Mag stuff would have maybe organized prizes through distros, whatever. Yeah. And that mosh was a prize, and Harry won the bike in the raffle. Riding a standard, had a legit bike. We had 1-piece cranks. Needed money for some 3-piece cranks and profiles or whatever. And then he sold it to your uncle for, on the cheap or whatever, just to get money for cranks.
It's like $400.
And then lo and behold, your birthday comes around, you get that bike, and then we started seeing you out at Vertex at Padstow on it.
It's a fucking trip how all that shit works and links up, but that's just the power of knowledge, friendship, and BMX at the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
Perfect, man.
Oh yeah.
And thanks for that hot tip, Harry. That was good shit.
I know. Harry's the man. Shout out once again. What a dude. I guess, I don't know, growing up with Lamia, Campbelltown Skate Park as your local, it's always been a bit of a hotbed. Like that park has produced some crazy stuff, like crazy riders, Dermo, Shane Biffin, Felix,
Heaps
that whole crew.
Pipe, man.
Pipe, yeah, dude.
I think that park was like the most legit skate park at its time. You know, like what it had to offer. It's got a bit of everything. You know what I mean? Like it goes anywhere from like fucking 0 foot to like 8 foot. You got different types, box jumps, half pipes. You got flight. You have everything. You couldn't ask for anything more. I think if I didn't move out here when I was like 14, I don't think that I would probably. Maybe I would be riding, maybe I wouldn't be, but it definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't have met the people that I have met. You know, like Dave C and Curly come out one time because people used to on school holidays travel out to Campbelltown to go to that park because there was kind of really nothing else before Five Dock, before any of that, or like there were other skate parks, but they were like way further away and like no locals would have been there. But no shit, there was like 50 to 100 people that would be there on a weekend. It was fucking mecca for BMX, you know, like, and you wanted to be there. It's not like, it wasn't like someone would just Colonel would turn up with like a sub box and play fucking Crazy Frog. He's a fucking crazy dude. And just have it pumping on his stereo, you know, and then you would all session that. Then so many different people would come through there, you know.
Plus it had lights, like floodlit till too. 11 p.m. every night.
Man, it was super diverse park, man. And that park made a lot of memories for a lot of people, you know. Kept a lot of people out of trouble, kept a lot of people happy, you know. Like I don't know what it's probably the best asset Campbelltown has besides the Commodore scene.
Commodore scene is strong.
Yeah, I never owned a Commodore. I'm probably not Campbelltown enough. Although I do have a Campbelltown tattoo, so I'll hold that to my grave.
Word.
Which
That's
was
awesome.
Done by Jezza, Jerry V.
Yeah, right. No way.
Gotcha.
Fuck yeah.
Johnny's got one too.
So good, man. I guess, I don't know, and that whole Campbelltown scene, I mean, still today, I mean, part of the reason for us moving the shop out here was it's still got a pretty strong scene of Sydney's
Definitely
parks. It's always been a sort of a stronghold, I guess. There's always just tons of riders. Go past on a Friday night, there's always at least 10 or more riders. And like today, it's still producing some quality dudes. I mean, like you Ryan Saville, you know, Jacob Devaney, those dudes are killing it and have been just smashing that park for a few years now. There's some young kids like that I see in the shop, like 16-year-old dudes, like little Pat, all those dudes are just fucking shredding, and it's just still producing the talent, which is really cool.
Even seeing Chowgy, man, he was riding like a while back, even like 7 years ago when I was still like living out here and still sessioning in the park. Chowgy would be there. Dev was here. He was scootering at the time, but I was still talking to him. Like everyone was friends. You know what I mean?
Shout out
like
to
Dev, man.
What's up?
Don't be ashamed. I've ridden a scooter before. Fuck it.
X Games champions now from scooters, man.
I was 9, but anyways. But like, there's so many people that wouldn't say were like lost memories of the park because it's still fresh in my mind. But there was so much talent that come out of that park. Just like don't know what it is about that place. Like it was a haven for people to like just shred. You know, like you could do or be whatever you wanted within that squared place. You know what I mean? Like, and you got all the food nearby too. So when you're like a kid with no money, you just go to Hungry Jack's and just get refilled cups and share them between everyone. Like it was almost like a fucking camp. You know, you go around school holidays and it was like nuts. It was like Campbelltown, Woodward.
Totally.
Kinda.
Maybe it's saying all the neon lights from all the fast food chains makes you just energized and ride like crazy. I don't know.
Definitely.
I mean, when you were like kind of coming up and like spending a lot of time there, who were the dudes you were kind of looking up to, I guess? Like who were you getting influenced by?
As soon as I first moved there and the people that I noticed, do you remember Dan? Super Dan used to drive that Supra. Had like, used to be doing sick at doing like food fires, toothpicks, all that type of shit.
PRFR? Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah, he was like
friend?
a shorter type of dude, but he had like, he had
Rode with Joe Moore.
Yeah, he had a standard back then too.
Yeah.
He was a fucking ripper, man. Dermo was the type of guy that everyone knew his name, but you never see him. Like, who knows whether he'd just ride at night or like ride during the day.
He's an amazing
because he was
rider.
just fucking. Dermo was on his own page, his own time, his own level. Like, he's like fucking Chuck Norris of BMX out here. Like, he was doing all this crazy ass shit. Like, Dermo did a Superman peg grab. I'm like, that fuck doesn't even run pegs. What's he grabbing? You know what I mean? Like, just all these crazy stories made up about him. But when you see him ride, dude was an animal.
Yeah.
And then there was times I hadn't seen him for a couple of years. He was doing other types of things, and he'd just come back to the park randomly and be like, I haven't been riding, and like just bar spin, land one hand, go over the box, throw the bars back the other way, like just fucking for fun. Like super naturally talented. Like not many people are as talented as that guy.
No, 100%. Except maybe yourself. You're probably one.
I
of
don't
those
think
dudes.
I'm not Dermo worthy.
I don't know. You might have surpassed legend status of Dermo for Campbelltown. Everyone's talking
Don't say
about
that. He might fight
Danger
me.
did this,
He might
Danger
fight
did that, Danger did that.
I don't want Dermo coming after me.
I mean, that background of Campbelltown, it's always been one of the toughest places. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, and Dermo's from here, like from the start too.
And you know, and moving up from Melbourne and riding with him, it was like, you know, Dermo's gnarly. You know, like it's going to get heavy if he loses it, whatever. But always an amazing dude to me. But you know, the stories always spread. I mean, I guess that park there was going to be a drama occasionally at it. But you had a good crew that stuck together.
Yeah, like I've seen some crazy shit that's happened there.
bet too.
Campbelltown was pretty rough when I was moving. Like, but there's different parts of Campbelltown's a fucking massive place. So when people think of Campbelltown, it's like dangerous place to go, etc., etc. But anywhere's dangerous. But you do see a lot of shit because that's the first entrance from the freeway where people come into Campbelltown. Lemay is just the start. Then you go further into it, but. There's been some gnarly shit I've seen there. And Dermo is probably the area where he's from in Campbelltown. It did have a rough reputation. It wasn't actually too far from where I lived. And I didn't know about this until a couple of years from when I was living in here. And Dermo could throw a rock from his house and hit my fucking house.
I sure did.
And he did it a couple of times because he knew where I lived, you know what I mean? But no, I think Campbelltown... Besides the skate park itself, there's a thing of the old hospital jumps that used to be here. I don't know if you've ever been there before. Like they were like a secret set of trails where like Ronnie Chalk used to ride, and he's like fucking from back in like the first X Games.
Ronnie Reap?
Oh, sorry, no, yeah, not Ronnie Chalk. Sorry, Ronnie Reaper. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He
He's from
was-
Campbelltown. He was fucking gnarly dude, man. He's good friends with Dermo as well. I never got to meet him unfortunately, but he was like the dude
He rode first X Games. I remember they interviewed him on like
doing that
Planet X.
gnarly double
Yeah.
truck with like the
Dude.
fucking.
You rode Vertex a lot back in the day.
Ice,
Yeah.
with the ice cream bucket helmet or something like on the
Yes.
front of his bike.
Yeah.
He was crazy, man. He was like, I wish I got to like meet that dude because like that was the era and style of bike like of BMX to like entrap me into it. You know, like these dudes were fucking nuts, like crazy good.
It was the start of a lot of BMX getting on TV. You know, in Australian BMX was getting back on TV after a long, long time and never seeing any of it. So I guess you were getting to see that, and if it's on TV, it's legit as hell.
I think I was lucky with getting to see all the VHSs and stuff like that my uncle had. Like as soon as I went to his house, I just like raided all of that. Like so I got exposure to like all the old, like the first US X games that they had all taped on that he had like from ESPN, all of the like the old proddies, man. So much like US stuff, but also the early aid VHS Australian scene stuff, and getting to see like all old Miller, old Bean Lee, Colin McKay, all of that stuff. Strictly, was it 01 that they had out?
Lindsey Brown's
man.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit was nuts, man. Like, and there's a lot of people in the BMX scene that probably never even got to have seen that, even though it was here, because you kind of would have had to know the right context or where you would have had to have purchased that from. Yeah. Now with the internet, you can watch anything from that's ever come out.
It's crazy
to date because it's all been uploaded to it, you know. But like just being exposed to all of that, even looking at Road Warriors right here, that shit was crazy. That's probably one of the best VHSs I've seen, you know, and that's and that's an Australian put together production, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about that the other night.
Yeah. And funnily enough,
those Viking bars, man, that shit was crazy.
Oh yeah, dude, yeah, Viking bars and V cans. I
Yeah.
mean, they paid for half of that trip, and we were just
So
getting
they
rid of
should.
it. Like, we were just getting rid of them, man. Like, we were just like, kids were like, "Can we have a Viking bar?" It's like, yeah, you can have a whole box if you can like chug 3 Vs and eat 5 of these in under a minute. Like, we'll just,
And
It's
rest
only
in
meant to have 1 a day or 2 a day or
I
something.
think it was diarrhea if you ate more than
Yeah.
1 a day.
and rest in peace to Winkleman, because he was a G, that guy, man. He was
That dude on the trip was incredible.
beyond his time, man. That guy was like fucking. Words can't explain how talented. You know what I mean? Like, there's not many people like that can just rip it to shreds like him. You know?
On anything.
Seeing him in the flesh at that Road Warriors comp at Vertex was definitely. I mean, it was a great atmosphere, and it was.
I believe Kenny Raggett won.
I can't remember who. I guess he did.
Yeah, I think Raggett.
Lindsay would have been up there close because he
450 whipped.
450 with the hip, which was
And it was pretty cooler.
But Dermo shredded that comp as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he probably got kicked out too.
He may have got kicked out. Yes.
Funny thing about Dermo before we move on from him is when Monster first opened in Olympic Park, we just turned up. Like, we weren't invited or anything. We just seen it there, so we just started riding the ramp before it all started. And some guy's like, "What the fuck are you doing on the ramp?" So he kicked us off, and then we seen, don't know who it was, Terry or someone. Someone ended up getting us invited into it, so we went into it. And Dermo, great guy, but him and alcohol don't mix too well. So he was just getting drunk, man, because all of that was free. He's just getting liquored up, and then I think he ended up getting booted out, then snuck back in a couple of times, just being a major menace, man. But
Didn't the Living End play at that?
Yes.
On like the
Inside?
box jump?
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm remembering this whole thing now.
dude.
That got loose very quickly.
Yeah, wow.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, well.
the party lord.
But part of that, growing up out here, riding with crew like Dermo, and it being a tough park, you know, and a tough part of town. I mean, I remember meeting you as a kid, and you were one of the cheekiest, most hardcore little dudes ever. Just didn't have to show. I don't want to say respect, but you were just like, no, don't care. I'm doing it my way, and I'm going to say what I want. And that was quite refreshing from so many kids that were just like, oh, they don't know where they stand. So.
I think I didn't get exposed to too much of like the gnarly, like you get rolled and bashed in the Campbelltown. I guess I got lucky with that. Yeah. But you definitely got to learn how to speak for yourself and stand up for yourself in a place like that where you do have some people that really just don't give a fuck about who you are or what you are. They only care about what you do, if you know what I mean. So especially growing up with people, like majority of the people were always like either like 2 to like 10 years older than me. So you kind of got to learn to juggle their way, juggle yours, be relevant, be cheeky, be fun, but be liked too at the same time, you know. And the kind of thing was, if you can like smart ass someone, then that's respect in their eyes, you know.
Very true. Yeah.
So you learn to be witty along the way, which I think is I still hold on to today. Obviously, I learned a little bit, matured a bit over the years, but having wit is something that it's earned. And it's earned and learned. There's no other way that you can get it. You know, you can't do a TAFE course to learn how to be fucking cool. You know.
No, you can't. Yeah. Maybe you could teach it. I don't know.
Maybe.
You used to get yourself around quite a lot, and I quickly started hearing it that you know, like to get somewhere, you do a trick, get a drink, stuff like that would happen. It'd always be like, Danger just did this just to get a drink, or Danger did this to get a lift back to here. So.
Yeah, that all started with Brendan and O.C.D. I don't know how it came apart, especially probably Raggett too, but riding out with them when like Monster Tuesday nights, Sunday nights, just gone on like little road trips with them, it was like, if you do this trick first go, we'll give you a Pepsi or something like that. I'm like, fuck, I'm pretty thirsty. Why not?
That's it.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but yeah, they definitely hold up to the bargain.
Yep. Do you reckon
Get it
that
through.
was part of your, I guess, rapid progression?
Progression, I reckon, like like my riding itself has taken such a drastic turn in as each year had went on. It wasn't like I've just stayed to like one true die-hard pattern of riding. It's like, even in my life now, man, I go through so many different phases. Things change, like the way I think, things I do, styles of like dressing, all that type of stuff. So my riding is like the same, you know, like just it's open for interpretation. If I can change it somehow, then why not try something new, switch it up, and see where it goes, you know, where some other people are like, this is what I like to do. I know what I like, and this is what I'm doing forever. Where myself, it's like,
You're going to get bored.
fuck, I take each day as it goes, you know what I mean? Like, and that helps you grow. If you just stay narrow-minded and stay on one path, what journey have you gone on, you know what I mean? And like one thing can spark interest to another, which I think is cool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that background of that park, I mean, that being the centerpiece for your riding in the beginning, led you to some pretty awesome results through comps on mini ramps and the park comps that started popping up. You want to go through some of them? Like BMX Games, I guess, was a big coming of age.
Yeah,
you reckon?
BMX Games was sick. Probably the first comp I ever went in was like just a local Campbelltown comp, and a lot of those had happened, but it was like, you just riding with all your friends, doing the same old shit that you do every other day. And it was kind of like, who's the king of Campbelltown type of thing. We're just joking around and fucking around with people. But sometimes you do take it serious, because like, even though it is like a shitty little comp, you still are young, you know.
Did you ever get the king of Campbelltown?
Yeah, I won it a couple of times, but it was like all the kings were gone by then. It was
Demo
easy.
wasn't
It was like Game of Thrones. I fucking killed everyone out. Everyone had gone. Drugs or fucking Commodores took them out.
Colonel moved to
Oh
Queensland.
yeah,
Colonel
Colonel
did
moved to Queensland, started riding jet skis,
Jet
and then
skis,
I'm just
yes.
like, sweet.
Here's to the Colonel.
I got it by default, but things like that, and then the going into BMX Games, the level of riding from just seeing local Sydney riders, which the level was good, but seeing riders from Queensland, riders from Melbourne, riders from South Australia, even Western Australia coming over before that, Brad Grant from Mozzie, Fink, man, the level was insane. That like most people from Sydney were like shitting themselves to the extent of like, this is like international level.
Being
that
the
we've
king
never
of Campbelltown suddenly didn't mean anything.
king of nothing at all. Just the boy, the boy from Campbelltown at that comp.
Yeah.
And just seeing these dudes rip it up was mind blowing. In like going, it's like living one day and then waking up and it being completely opposite the next, from just being mind blown from all these people here in this place where like I didn't even know it was real, you know. And I thought that was awesome with the BMX Games stuff. I did go on the amateur comp that year, and luckily I qualified for it. I still don't know how, because there were riders like Pipe. Fuck, it's even hard. Like this was my first exposure to Irvine. He was there. Stretton. So many people were in it. Like
Zach Minor was in it.
yeah,
too?
Minor. Hundreds of riders were in that, and I still don't know how I qualified for that.
Zach
'Cause-
Masasa probably was in it.
yeah, Masasa
He
was
might
in
have
it
been
probably.
riding pro.
He might have been in pro.
I think he rode pro that year.
Yeah, he might have
know,
been
he would've
there.
been
Might
young.
might
He
have
was
not.
young. He was younger than me, but he was still riding pro, I think.
Yep.
But it was just nuts to be a part of it. But the Saul brothers were in it.
Oh yes,
That was my first exposure to them too.
DJ
And,
and
Mickey.
Mickey.
and
Yeah.
Mickey, I think Mickey. So Mickey
Shredders.
was in the same boat as me, and how I had to so I tied like 8 for whatever it was with someone with what's his name from the Northern Beaches, Paul. You
Paulie.
remember? Yeah, Paulie.
Yeah.
I had to arm wrestle him for my place.
You serious?
Yeah, it come down to like a tie, and he won. So I think I got 9th. That's just how we do it, Eddie, which I think is funny as fuck. I think that's how it should happen. You get just tie someone, you got to like just have a fucking arm wrestle or like something like that to earn your spot,
Yeah.
and that's how that went. Yeah.
Then I guess not long after that, the legend or the murmurings and mumblings of that Danger Kid, of what this guy has done at the local park, or like he's done this trick, he's done this gap, he's done this, and there was sort of this almost mystique about you, which is really cool. And then I guess like you're sort of, when Troy released his first video, which was dropping clips, Troy Charlesworth that is, and you kind of had the breakout part. Like your part wasn't the end of the video, but it was the best part of the video. Like, and everyone was talking like, dude, did you see Danger's part? Did you see what fucking song he used? Did you like? And you had that whip gap at Campbelltown, the channel across
the quarter,
that
the quarter
crazy
one,
thing,
yeah.
and like everyone was like, we kind of heard that was he'd done that, but we didn't believe it. And then you see the footage, and it was the cover photo of the DVD, and like everyone just lost their shit, and everyone was like, that was sort of like Danger has arrived.
I gotta give
like,
Troy props because he chose the song, he edited all of it. I think that was probably the most tail whips I think anyone has ever done in BMX in one
section.
in one section. But like I thought to myself, man, it took me that long to learn it. I'm gonna fucking run this thing into the ground, really. But that whip especially, I would never do that again. Once I landed, I'm like, I'm not doing this again. Like, yeah, there's probably some people out there in BMX that just fucking like they could do that in their sleep, but it like just scared the shit out of me because it's not perfectly parallel. It's like it kicks out a bit. There's so much that can go wrong. And I just don't like eating shit on big stuff.
Your ankles aren't getting any younger.
Yeah. But I was like 18, 19 when I did that. So like still had a little bit of juice in me.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, I'm not doing this anymore. But that's probably one of the things that like I'm proud of landing, I would say. Especially in a place like that, because like that gap to date is still, it's not that big. But you just got to have like just a bit of balls to do it. You know,
Jumping it straight is still nuts. And you whipped it, which is the best. It's so good.
There needs to be a plaque.
Yes.
A plaque there.
Well, we can apply it to the local council. We'll see how far we go.
Danger's gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon it'll be flared one day, but by someone crazy. Jaggy, you can probably do it.
Ooh,
It's a big carve.
there's a big call there. Yeah.
Get him on.
He needs to earn his rank. He's not the king of Campbelltown
He needs to
yet.
earn his rank.
Chris James, mate.
Chris James.
Rode there on Saturday
That
night with
dude's
him.
crazy.
Holy shit. 5 minutes in, we were there for... The lights just went on. He just got there. We were like 5 minutes into riding. Just started firing off gaps that only a select few people have even attempted.
Even
Just-
the quarter, not many people have done. And like, it's not that big. But funny enough, Dennis was staying with me one time. Took him out there just like it was like a hot Saturday day. Just fucking only rode for 10 minutes. Just a warm-off run for this dude. Drops in, jumps quarter to quarter like fucking nothing. Does a lap around the park and does like can jam the fakie on the 8 foot. It's just like, what the fuck?
Wow.
We're leaving. Let's go. You've
This
already
park
fucked it up.
sucks. Let's go.
I don't want to see you do anything else.
You won't get in the plaque anymore.
Yeah, no.
It's over.
Put it in front of anything and just destroy it. But like, just so many people have been to that park, man. Like, it's like, now that you said that, it's seen probably more people than most parks. Like Gutler, plenty. Even when Gutler was first breaking out in the US, he come here with Miller for like some road trip. Who knows what they're doing? Probably doing the road trip that he had the cover in, doing that No Hander Man is roughly about that time.
Yeah.
He was there. Grantham's been there. Toby Fort's been there. Bowen, McKay. Dude, the list goes on.
It was the best BMX park in Sydney for so long.
Fuck, Bam Margera was there one day, which was pretty trippy to see. You know, like just the amount of people that have strolled through that, because it's on the way going down to Canberra too. You know, like it's an Australian icon.
That's it.
It needs to be on the TripAdvisor, I reckon.
Let's put it on there.
We can sort it out.
I remember when that park was...
with my plaque.
Yeah,
I know I gotta get my plaque.
When that park was first built, was around the same time they released the skateboard.com.au released that book. Remember the skate park like handbook?
I think that was other dudes. It wasn't even those
Oh, was it? Okay.
.com.au dudes. Yeah, that was before the internet.
It's on there, but the
Yeah.
photos are like super old.
Yeah, but when
did that
when that book came out, that park was fresh, and I remember like flicking through like what's in Sydney in the area, and you see the photo, a little tiny photo, and it was like, oh, that looks like an American park, or like just looks like that's not even like, is that in Sydney? Like that's holy shit.
I don't even know who designed it, man. It's like that's the only place to like if I feel like riding, that's the only place I want to go to. Like
It's got more flow than most parks in Sydney.
But it's just like a nostalgic feeling. Every time I come into Campbelltown, it's like I don't live here anymore, but just being here just brings back good feelings, because like I've spent more of my life at that park than I've lived my life as a person. You know, like I spent some fucking solid time there, man. Like I've done more hours there than like any fucking professional has done that doing their job, you know? Like it's nuts. Like it's like, fuck, if I had an odometer, how many times I've been that, like it would be fucking
Clocked it.
100,000 hours or something. Like it's nuts.
That's why
I've had sex there.
the
Like,
plaque-
it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, the plaque has to happen then. If you've had sex there, it's got to fucking happen.
I think a couple of people probably have too.
I guess, I don't know, you were just, you progressed super fast and everything, and you started getting out there and recognized and stuff. You started getting hooked up. Was your first sponsor, was that like Superstar? Was that through Daily?
Superstar. So I was hanging out with Baz, Chris Barrowman at the time.
Oh, Baz.
He was a good friend of all Danger Man's friends. Myself, growing up, he was doing aircon at the time. So I was
south there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was down Cronulla way.
Yeah.
Carrying bar. So I was just hanging out with him. I was about 17, 18. He hooked me up with an apprenticeship for a period of time. And he was good friends with Daly. And then I think I was just riding with him a lot at the time. Word of mouth went through the Daly. And then we went to Daly's house in Newtown, and he just said, "Hey, would you like to ride for me?" I'm like, yes, yes, I do. And I got a Superstar, that thing was fucking sick. French company. The good thing too was that I also was speaking to the contacts from France as well. Like all the dudes that were running it at the time, like they were interested in having someone. It wasn't like the Australian distros giving you a frame.
Yeah.
Now you ride for us, et cetera, et cetera. Like it kind of felt a part of it at that time. But this was when social media was very new. It wasn't like you were like as comfortable and confident as you are now with it,
didn't exist.
Nothing
days,
like
dude.
that exists.
MySpace days, yes, it was.
It was pre-Facebook probably.
MSN was the hot topic at that time, I believe. But yeah, Daly really did hook it up, and I can't thank him enough for offering me that. And he really was good for me for that time,
They made some good parts.
Yeah, great parts for what it was and what I had previously before that. It was like a fucking dream come true to have a bike like that, So I rode for Daly nearly a year, and for Superstar. And I started riding with Brendan and Seaton and all of them, and then word of mouth went through from both of them back to Terry, and I got an offer to ride for him, and I just couldn't pass it up because, man, riding for Demolition was a dream. I had an old Volume Mexican frame which my uncle fucking flogged off to me, which was sick, and just Volume was the shit at that time too. So like it was like one of those dream sponsors when you're the kid walking home from school just thinking in your head about who you'd like to ride for one day or something like that, and like the opportunity come about. I was like, man, dream come true. I remember where I was when like Brendan was like, yeah, man, it's all gone through, it's all cool. You're on. I'm like,
Where were you?
fucking oath. I think I was going, it was my mum's birthday. I was in like just getting driven there. I'm like seeing a text. I'm like, sick. It's on.
That cool.
Yeah, it's all cool. And since then, man, Terry's been, I can't thank him enough for all his help. Like he's really gone above and beyond for every rider that he's ever put up. And he's such a selfless person. Like he doesn't want anything in return, and all of that comes out of his own pocket, Like even sending me to China for the first time for Asian X, like he didn't have to do any of that. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like no one forced him to do that. He did it out of the kindness of his heart. He's like sent me to the US before, put me in contact with Lara and Brian from over there, even funded some of the trip with like money to spend and stuff. He didn't have to do any of that, like that made the world of it to me, like that someone cared, like more than having to be a smart ass to get a name for yourself. It's like seeing the kind side of people too, without having to fucking battle them off.
Yeah.
At times.
Very true.
Peace out to Terry.
Yeah, dude, he's done so much for so many riders, and no one knows it. Like he
still does.
No one.
He still does.
Like yeah, exactly. He's still doing it.
I was in the shop the other day and asked him, "Who are you sponsoring now?" And he told me like these 10 guys I'd never heard of, and I'm like, fucking right on, Tez. Like he just doesn't. He loves BMX so much, man. Like there's not many people out there that I can truly say that are as genuine as him, man. And like he's so honest with it too.
He's done it for the right reasons for so
definitely.
long, and he's never wavered from that ever.
And Neil too. Neil's back in the shop, and it's good seeing Neil. It's like honestly, it's like I bought a fucking DeLorean. I'm going back in time, going to Terry's shop. Freaks me out.
Yeah, well, it freaks you out, but we're 10 years behind you. Like we started going there when we were
20. Sorry,
Well,
maybe 10.
Yeah. Yeah, I started going there in like 97, and you walk in and there's like Terry and Neil. I went in there maybe a year ago, had to go pick some stuff up from him, and Neil's back working there after a few years off.
Yeah, Neil.
And then I was, what year is it, dude? It's the same, like, it's just like, and the same, their hilarious dynamic is still the same thing.
The only
fucking
thing that's
awesome.
changed is he's half painted the wall so he can take photos of the bikes, and he's got a new set of stairs. The rest of that, like, there's so much. There's a Winkleman frame, like an old. What do you have? A
I was gonna say,
KOD,
there's gonna be some old
SOB,
stuff.
yeah,
yeah.
SOB on the wall. Even like old racing medals and stuff, and he does a lot for the race scene too, which is
He does,
which
yeah.
is good. It's not just BMX, like because racing's from his roots, you know, like he's
His
like
bro was a freestyler and he was a racer.
yeah,
wasn't
Tosh,
he?
yeah. And cool thing with Terry too, he's got a nephew that he rides around with, so there's still there's still more era to come.
Yeah.
You know, I got a nephew myself that I taught him to ride a couple months ago for the first time, and like just like the look in his eyes when he was just riding around, just frothing, you know what I mean? And I remember what that was like, you know. And I feel like I got so much from my uncle growing up. If I can give back to this guy and seeing that like naturally he loves and not trying to force him to do it, then like power to it, you know.
Yeah.
And that's like my mission to do, is like just pass on what I've learned, but not be a dickhead about it. Like with a lot of people, it's like, I'm not telling you or showing you what I know, just like that wanker mentality. Like a lot's changed, you know.
You've had a lot of good role models around you that have passed you a lot of knowledge.
True.
You know, between giving you a lift somewhere to having your back when you've been overseas. Like, there's been a lot of people there from.
I thank a
from
lot
this
of people. Yeah,
perspective.
definitely. I thank a lot of people for a lot of things that I've gotten. Like just people just being genuine, but then sometimes people are not being genuine, but you learn from all of that, you know. But getting to really think on your feet and travel and incorporate yourself with other riders and stuff helps you learn, especially when you're overseas and meeting new people and meeting up with them and doing types of different things. It's like if you're just the type of person that just drives into and from the park, people picking you up, like your parents and stuff, you're not ready for the real world, even the real world itself or the real world of BMX, because it's all about how you also respect them and they respect you, and how you incorporate all of that.
Yeah, I'll get metaphorical about BMX in life on any given day and going, well, if you can learn this on a bike, you can probably get by in any situation.
Well, I think as well with life, like if you look at there's a process to learning things. The same with BMX. Like there's a way that a trick works. You need to understand it in your head before you can physically do it. And if you use that same interpretation in life, then you can achieve anything. And that's the same metaphor and theory that I use with everything in my life. You know what I mean? Like I need to understand it in my head before I can physically do it myself. You know, otherwise you fucking slippery slope.
Will that keep you up at night if you want to learn? You know, back in the day when you were really pushing hard and you had a comp coming up, would you lay there trying to work out what was going on and to be able to land it? Would you run it all through in your head to go, and I've landed it?
I don't see it as if I'm actually doing it in my head, but understanding how it works. Like just thinking it's like an equation, you know, on how that works. Like I think a lot, like probably I talk a lot, but I also probably think more than that in itself. And it's like just wanting to like step by step it in my head really made a difference probably for how I learn things, you know. But like I got this like O.C.D. that like I can't stop until like I've got it, you know what I mean? Like you just got to keep going and going and going and going and going. It's like you can't, like it fucking drives you mad. Like you want to wear a helmet to bed because you're hitting your head on the wall because it just won't go, you know what I mean? But that's half the drive too, you know. And that's with everything, you know. Like it's just it's determination, but it's wanting to push yourself, because at the end of the day, the only person that you can better is yourself. Yeah. So don't fucking, you can compete with other people all you want, but you're never going to be on a level playing field, you know. Yeah.
I mean, you hit, you know, I guess all those BMX Games comps, and it was at one of the later BMX Games comps. We had Gutler out here. I think, you know, McKay was out. Mm-hmm. Everyone was out here. Probably it was the Sydney one. Mm-hmm. The big Sydney one with the jumps out where G got chased. We were talking about that.
07, 08?
07, 08. Yeah.
That was 07.
Did you win?
No, I won the one after that. The mini was after that.
When did you go to the States? After that comp?
After that, yeah.
After that comp.
A little bit, 2 years or so after that, yeah.
Because I got the feeling at that comp, you know, all those crew who had already stepped over there, Gootlers, McKays, they really took a shining to you and went, you've got something going on that's at that level in the States. Were they part of helping you get there, or helping you when you got there?
That, not so much that at that time, but that's when the Sweet As trip happened here. It was like when Bowen, McKay, Dills, all of them were out here, and they were doing like a 2-week trip down to Cam's Jam after the BMX Games. And I just met Colin. It was the year before that, just like because he knew Danger Man and things like that. Hey, how you going? All that type of stuff. And then when he was out here, caught up with him again. And I heard that they're doing this trip, and it's like they didn't invite me. I just never left. I'm like, fuck.
You were that kid.
If they're not asking me to come, I'm fucking coming. Because it was like, this is never going to happen again. Like, and these dudes are sick. Like, I'm going to have the opportunity to hang out with these guys. And I think by default, they like were like fucking cool for it to happen anyway, because they didn't give a shit, you know? And we just rode every day, taking them to different places around Sydney. Went to go down to like Jared and Dane's trails at the time. Yeah. Bowen was ripping them up, Dilsey as well, because they were like all friends with them, because Dane had gone a couple of years earlier, you know? So he was getting to show them home turf trails and stuff like that. That was like my main like introduction to all of them, but I didn't go to the US for maybe 2 years after that. Yeah. Then another BMX games and things like that happened. But the first person that kind of offered me to come out there and stay was Heath Pinner when he was here on a Mosh trip.
That's right. Okay.
And he said, you may come out, stay with me, no issues at all. So like a year later, I did hit him up. He said, yeah, no worries, come out. I was going out there for about 3 months. I stayed with Heath for 2 days, went to Bowen's house for a party, and I never left. So I'm like, man, this is way sicker down here, because Heath was cool. He was like lived around a corner from when Lonnie Paxton's jumps were.
Miles away.
It's ages away.
Yeah.
So where those
Corona.
jumps are with that had that sick kicker.
And the white picket fence. And
with they had the paved down ramp, just around a corner from that. But that's like 40 minutes up into the hills of Riverside. Yeah. And man, he was married, he had work to do because he's the TM at the time.
There's nothing happening out there.
Nothing happening out there. And there's a lot happening at Bowen's house.
Oh, yeah.
And he was living with Biz at the time. So I'm like, I'm just staying. So one day led to another, and all my clothes and stuff were still back at East. So I'm like, I just went and bought new ones. I'm like, I'm on holidays, man. I'm just buying anything I need. And then from then, we just had such a fucking sick time. Just really getting to know them and hang out with them as people, and riders as second, which was cool, because I think that I get along with people as understanding who they are, and then riders. That's just how I live my life.
It's a better way to go.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I was riding Focus, but it didn't matter to me about having to just ride. You know, just knowing them, especially Bowen being a fellow Aussie, was like seeing him in Fox Drama blew my mind. Like he was like God status, you know. So really getting to see what his life's all about was a fucking great opportunity.
He was riding the top of the wave at that point.
Definitely.
X Games were going on.
That, I got to go to Dew Tour with him one time, which was sick to see, because I never rode any Dew Tour or anything, but the one in Chicago I went to, and that was just surreal to see, behind the scenes of what goes on there, you know what I mean? It was like a movie set, and I was behind the scenes, you know what I mean? So on TV you see all the action, like watching a movie, but
that's
behind all of that, Dennis Anderson's dad was there. I met him before I even met Dennis, which was crazy, because his dad goes to all of that. He's better friends with everyone there probably than Dennis is.
Wow.
His dad's a legend. His dad is just a bona fide pro homeboy, which was cool just to hang out with all of them and see all of that. And to wrap up the trip, I spent about a month in Greenville, because Dilsey was living out at the time. Yep. And I really think that made a lot of what made my BMX career, perspective of what riding in the US is kind of like, because that's where Josh Harrington was living, and ANDTRODUCING come out 2 years earlier.
Everyone was living there.
Yeah, everyone was living there.
Mira Nyquist.
I didn't get to see Mira when I was there though, because Mira's he's a celebrity doing his own thing at that time.
Lee Ramsell was there.
Oh, he moved to Raleigh.
He
moved to Raleigh.
Yeah,
that was in Chapel Hill for a bit. There was that other scene.
Gutler was there, Tui, Dilsey, bunch of people. Yeah. Chris Courtney was there at the time. A bunch of Australian guys were there. Nick Kay, everyone. It was honestly the biggest party town. But being exposed to all the spots and stuff that was in ANDTRODUCING, Ty Morrow, Tony Ennis that were there. I was a park streetish type of rider at that time.
You were completely transition based.
Yeah, yes. Transition based, but didn't have an agenda of what. I was just a rider then. I had no agenda of what I wanted to be. I just wanted to ride and have fun and just talk shit, and that's what I did. But without subconsciously, a lot come from that without knowing that. And then coming back here, I was like determined to like learn more, ride more, like push myself more, because like everyone over there was just ripping it up, and I'm like, I wanted to be a part of that, you know.
Yeah, so N-Search, Harrington, Tony Annis, that was a big influence. That changed a lot.
Definitely. Like that movie really pushed the boundaries of what BMX needed to be in my eyes, because it was so abstract. It wasn't a street, it wasn't a dirt, it wasn't a park movie. Like it was everything, and the way that it was put together and how it was filmed was like everything I was into and I wanted to be. But back here, that in Australia, there wasn't a video like that at the time that I adapted to, besides Emancipate. And shout out to Johnny for that one.
Shout out to Johnny.
Yeah, the Lord.
Behind the scenes right here.
Like, if anything, pushing back into that, I would say N-Search and Emancipate, like a US and Australian base, they hold like a special spot in my heart for like the rough and raw, real riding, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's also a film that isn't just about park, dirt, or street, you know? And it's just a bunch of good people laying it down and just showing you what they're made of.
For sure.
And Borman and John both have sections in that too.
It's very true, man. It's very, very true.
That was a fun time, man. That was about 2004 and 5, filming all that. That was
Definitely.
And it was cool because we'd go out every weekend, and that was the mission of just going out and filming stuff and, you know, trying to create this DVD. I mean, and we had no idea. I mean, John probably had an idea. He had the kind of plan, I guess, but we had no idea what it was going to turn into, like in terms of just such a good vibe and like creating just every weekend. It was like, hey, let's meet up, let's go film here, let's film there, and like really creating strong bonds with the other dudes in the crew. You know, like Seaton seemed so much older than us back then, even though he wasn't. He just seemed it because, you know, he had a license and he had, you know, like,
tail whips on lock.
He was a very dialed rider. And he had,
serious dude.
He was, he looked a little bit older than all of us. And then like, and also Brendan, I looked up to Brendan for
he had
race.
a gyro and 4 pegs.
Yeah. Well,
he must be old.
Must be legit and old if he's got. But Brendan Jones, for example, like I knew him from racing, and he was like racing almost pro level when I was still racing like expert or novice class, and he was like a year older than me. But I was like, that's that dude. Like, and he's now in our group, and like getting to know him and getting to know Seaton, getting to know G as well, and just, you know, like obviously John Abs and myself, Tom Payne. Fucking, that was a good time. It gets me real stoked that you drew influence from that and were definitely into it, you know?
I think that shaped the Sydney scene and even the Australian scene in general. Fucking right, I was like,
Critters on the roof.
It's probably damn.
Chucking rocks.
That's kind of what it was like. My nan's like, you know, because my nan lived in the back of the house. What the fuck is that? Those fuckers. Yeah. I honestly think that definitely influenced the Australian, especially the Sydney scene, because the turnout for the premiere itself, like I think there was a photo floating around of the people that were there, and like I think I'm in one of it somewhere in the back. Like it was a massive turnout. Like even when the Halloween jam before the premiere, there are so many heads there that were like just super super psyched and keen to be there for it, and it's still around. So it's still around in my mind today. So who knows how many other people out there still have a copy or still are into it, you know? I think I still got a copy at home, you know?
Hopefully online soon, hey John? Hopefully.
I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, it's been a change of era. You know, like nowadays the web clips become the dominant media. You know, a DVD or a magazine cover doesn't seem as important anymore in some ways. Was a section in a video or a magazine cover, was that a higher goal to aim for and a reason to push riding hard than just having to produce content on a regular basis?
I think BMX has changed a lot now in the sense that people will look at it like there is a goal to reach, and you need to have a section, you need to have web edits, you getting covers and things like that is like a milestone in your career. But when I was like writing, it's like none of that. It wasn't even a thing in my mind that mattered. It wasn't even like I wanted to get somewhere within myself. You know, like I wanted to be just like do the stuff that these guys are doing. Like that's what mattered to me.
Yeah.
But what happened in time with that is like growing up with 2020, you know, free issues a year would be coming out, getting to really diving into the content of the Australian scene through that mag. If it wasn't for 2020, there's so much that I wouldn't even know about the BMX scene. And luckily enough, having opportunities to be a part of that mag has shaped my like appreciation for everyone in the scene that has made something respectable. And I can look back on all of that stuff throughout my life, and like it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to deteriorate. You know what I mean? Like I can show my kids in the future that it was something. It's not going to get lost on the web. It's not going to get deleted. Like it's a real deal, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what means the most to me. Like it's not just a memory in my head that'll fade away one day. Like it's real. It's right there in front of me, you know?
Yeah. I'm talking about ones right in front of you. There was a spot you hit a few times. You had video footage at, and you had a cover on.
The old harbour spot.
Yeah, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, an iconic spot, the bike track, the banks.
Yeah, this thing's cool.
You had already gone up before this was shot.
Yeah, when we were filming, what's it called? About Time, the BMX Militia Mafia DVD.
Yeah.
Troy was saying like, what do you want to do for your endo? What's it going to be? And I had just had faint memory of just like being at that spot when I was a kid, you know, family trips to the city, walking up and down. I'm like, I know that thing exists somewhere. So we scoped it out a couple of times, but it was completely different to what I remember as a kid. I'm like, fuck, this thing is crazy. It's really, the banks don't have much kick.
No.
It's like really flat and it's
long.
really long up.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of really slope. It's like a long slope going up to the actual bank down, like up the tunnel.
It's like 400 meters of very gradual incline, and pedaling towards that thing really sucks.
Yeah, so I was like,
shit.
Did you used to race?
No, I'm gonna try and jump up this, and I just had normal standard gearing. I think it was like 25.9 at the time, and I was like just making up, like casing, just making up. So I was talking to Terry about it, and he's like, why don't you change your gearing? So I think I went, is it 28.9 that makes it harder?
Yeah.
Is that how it goes? Yeah. So I changed it up to that, and like I was clearing it up, but it was like, in my head, like when you leave a ramp, you know when you got a certain period of time where you can do a trick and you know you're safely going to land it. I didn't have that in my head. It's like, it's all happening too quick. It's like, it's happening too fast. So O.C.D was like just calling me a pussy. He's like, so you,
Of course he was.
so you're like, you're going to do it? There might even have been a Pepsi on hand for this one to do it. So the only way to safely, it was on a Sunday too, so families and crowds and bus stops are all packed, and that's it's because it takes you from the top of the park and the Harbour Bridge down towards where the rocks are.
Yeah.
There's only a short window of time for when you could jump up it, and you only have a couple hits of jumping up it before you're too tired. So I used to have to call them, like from when I was outside the tunnel and up the road, basically where the pub is, and they said that yeah, the coast is clear. So I'm just like, from when I hang up the phone, it's like full Top Gun style. Like I'm just like head down, pedaling up this thing, jumped up it like once or twice, and I'm like, fuck, I don't think I can do this. And I'm like, all right, I'm going for it again. And then last go, pedaled up it, and then like just whipped up it, and then like I dabbed a foot. I'm like, fuck, I don't think I have enough time to do this again. Like I'm too tired. Gave about half an hour break. Went to the same scenario again, and then landed it. And I'm like just riding away, like what just happened?
Holy shit!
Because in my head, it's like it just happened. Like my body just like muscle memory just did it. Like it wasn't like I had so much time to watch myself do the trick. It's like,
No, man.
it was like, and landing like, what the fuck is this went on? You know, it was like bizarre.
That's rad. And then I guess a couple of years later, you went and hit it for a cover shot.
Yeah, for the way down, I think it was Nick Gascoigne. It was like,
Yeah.
why don't we go back there and I think we're just riding the street with Troy and Gazzy just cruising around, and we're just there one time, like just jumped into it, because jumping into it is scary, but it's way easier than riding up it, you know? So
You got the
just
speed on the
They
downhill.
just jumped into it, and I was really into no-handers at the time because that trick took me so long to land too. So it's kind of like tailwhits, funny enough, like just something that I just thrashed over doing everything. And I'm like, just thought it would be a cool thing to do down it. And then it ended up working. And then Gazzy was like, but that wasn't the day that we shot this.
I heard you wanted to do it at night and light it up.
We did do that. We did that for the movie. We did that for, what was the last one we did with Troy? Can't remember now. what was the last 2020 movie we made?
Every day is a
Every Day's
Saturday.
Every Day's a Saturday.
Oh,
yeah.
that's what's up.
No, every day's
Day's a Saturday,
Every day's
isn't
a
that?
Saturday.
Yeah.
We went there with Macca, had some floodlights because he come down from Queensland,
Yeah.
being a tradie. He hooked that up and we did it. But I had to go back a separate day with Gazzy to shoot this just for, I think we wanted to do it during the day because it might have been a bit too dark in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Just me and him there. So I think 3 to 4 separate trips I've gone and I've done it down that.
Yeah.
So now I think about it, if I miss my hands, I'm screwed. But back then it was like, I didn't care. I'll
It was
do
fast.
You know?
It's a fast landing. Now, we ran the cover. It's here. And it was a pretty rad cover. And I just remember getting called out on the internet back then by a burgeoning website which claimed to be all that to come up.
Oh, yep.
And they were taking the piss out of it, going, it's just a shitty no-hander down a flat bank.
Yeah. Because they thought it was just like the 9 stair or whatever it was.
Yeah, but those retards on the internet don't have fold-outs because they've only got one
Indeed.
screen. And then suddenly the truth came out. But whatever. It was. I mean, to this day, I don't reckon anyone else is ever going to no-hand down it.
When that cover dropped, because I don't think I saw the photo until the mag was printed, and I was just thinking to myself, because I jumped down it during the Emancipate filming. I had it in my part, and that
Yep.
was
That's
2004.
right, yes.
So I might have
Yep.
been, check me out. I might have been the first person to jump down it
You
on
might
film.
have actually been the first.
Bowen
down it.
turned down it maybe a year after I did it, I
Yep.
think. But I saw Danger doing that, and I was like, that is fucking serious.
There's no lip on the top.
And the bank thing's so much narrower than
it's
you can really imagine. Like in real life, it's fucking gnarlier than you ever think.
and it's slippery as crap.
Drewsy whipped down it too. That's
Oh, he
fucking
did too.
nuts, man.
But
Like
he's
that's Drewsy's a crazy
He's
dude.
also
man.
the best.
He sure is.
Fucking
Nah,
hell.
appreciate it, Matty, for all the support over the years and for printing that. Like, it's a dream come true, and definitely something that I still have a copy at home. You know, like every type of like mag that I still have on deck or anything, I just put that away in like a secret
nice.
drawer. You know, where everything is, because it's just memory. I think even when Focal Point was in black and white, there was a photo Cooper took of me in spinal disorder. I still have that, and that's like pushing back like 2006.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 6.
And I still have that copy at home, just like still in like perfect condition. Like just put it away because it's something that you're never gonna find again, and like it's nostalgic. Like it really does mean something.
It's not lost in the scroll, is it?
Definitely, and that's the thing with social media is like you get a lot of it up front, but long term, what is it? You know,
Do
like
you remember your first 10-second Insta clip?
exactly right. You know, like I'm
Definitely
I'm
not.
not a part of that of that Insta shit now, man. I'm not interested in any of that. Like I turn myself off from that. Photos of my dogs and shit go on that, but
Yeah.
like. I'm glad that I was around when like all this was happening, because I feel a lot of people have missed out that are coming up in the scene now, especially moving back to where all the old VHS content was coming out from the Australian scene, because there's so much history in this. And the good thing about where we are right now and what Tom's doing is like educating all the younger writers of
time.
what's happened. You know what I
We
mean?
need
Like
to know our roots.
even the room we're in now, it's like it's got so much memory, so much history, and the fact that you guys care enough to give back to the young, because if you don't educate the young, then you got a pretty fucked future, if you ask me.
That's it. You know, man, talking about photos and talking about that commitment to getting a shot or getting a clip, the relationship between the writer and the filmer or the photo bro,
Makes a big difference.
whoever it is, who are some of the people you've worked with over the years that you've really enjoyed and you've got results that you've been wrapped with?
The first person that I've like legitimately been with writing would be True Charlesworth, and that was like when Monster was first coming out.
Okay.
And that was in a time where you didn't like you just rode because you wanted to ride. It wasn't about shooting photos or anything like that. Like this is before that time, but Troy had a
I think
vision.
that's Australia. I think
Yeah.
that's Australia in general. Like, we're never going to make money out of it.
Yeah.
We kind of knew that. You know, we might get sponsorship and get a sticker and 10% off.
What like
you
like
ride
it
'cause you
wasn't
ticket.
it wasn't even a thing. But Troy had a vision, and that's when he wanted to film dropping clips. And he just asked me one day at Monster, "Hey, do you want to film a section for my movie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, man." Like it was just one of those things. Like I'm just saying yes because you're my friend, but whatever, man. If you want to go ride around and we'll film while we do, why not? You know, this was before like doing that was actually a legitimate thing. You know, so Troy was definitely my first first influence in that type of direction and that scene, and I can't thank him enough, because I think that he's really shaped the Australian scene itself, because he's put a lot of his dollars and a lot of his time and effort to help produce and push the scene for everyone else around, and he's in the same boat as Terry, where he doesn't want nothing in return, you know, like he really just does it for the love, and I can't thank him enough for that. John Young, man, me and Johnny get along real well. It goes back to when I met him when I was probably 13, 14, you know, and like I really hold a close place in my heart for people that I meet from back then in my life, and I'm still knowing them now because I know that they're honest and genuine people, and that's the type of friendships you hold on to. But friendship first, filming later is kind of the relationship I have with him, and he's filmed a lot of stuff for me, some stuff that we'll film in for a trip edit which never got released, but that's still, the footage is still unreleased to date, so maybe we can.
What trip is this?
Maybe the trip, the clothing that Tamara knows you're doing. So we're filming some stuff for that a little while ago, but it never ended up getting released at the time. Just things happen, you know.
You still got it.
But John, yeah, just shit happens, you know. Like I don't hold no grudges. But anyways, me and Johnny later in the day can probably drop something like that. It's all outdated, but I didn't give a shit. I think it's still cool, and that's all that really fucking matters.
Yeah.
You know, moving forward, because I always go on tangents. 2 filmers basically that I got mad love for on the Australian scene. US would be Tony Ennis.
Yeah.
Bringing back to that time I was talking, I was out in Greenville, got to meet him, and how that like shaped my perspective on wanting to come back here and learn to ride.
Well, he was
like
shaping
stronger
the
and things like
filming in the world.
Yeah,
at that time.
exactly right. And when I was over there, Ty Morrow was asking, like, did I want to ride for the trip at that time, and like, you want to film and edit while you're here? Because I was in Greenville for about a month, and I'm like, fuck yeah, why not? Like, but I was over here just partying like flat out, because I was staying with some Australian guys too that I was riding with in Sydney, and like, when you're like 21 over there, you got nothing but time to do whatever the fuck you want, which was great. So when I wasn't partying and riding my moped around and all of that crap, I was filming with Tony, and I got to go on some really good road trips over there. Got to see like all of North Carolina, South Carolina. Got to go to both Greenvilles. Believe it, there's 2 in 2 different states.
Yeah, okay.
But a lot of the cool abstract street spots and stuff I got to see, and really push myself in a different element and meet so many great people along the way, and make that trip edit I did with him. And that's outside of like content of magazines and things like that. That's the one edit which I really feels like my best work, because like it was just a moment in time where I had nothing else to do but do what I wanted. So it's more than just an edit. It's like a point in my life where I was free, you know.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at that. So I put him down on the map for that, the friendships that we carried as well. And for photography, Gazzy's the man.
Definitely.
He's probably the only person I've really shot with on a photography level. Everything was old. Most of the friends people I'm friends with are all filmers. Like, not many people actually, I think that I've hung out with are actually photographers, you know?
Yeah.
And Gazzy was. And that was the cool thing about it, is because slowly he'd just start to show me all these little bits and pieces that he caught that we weren't actually even filming. He was just taking photos of something abstract, and I went past. I'm like, this is sick, you know. We even had a montage in 2020 which he was just taking photos of non-related BMX things, just cruising through the street.
Sydney,
because he had those skills, because that's what he does or did for a day job, you know what I mean? And he really tripped me out that there was someone that I could talk the bullshit with, but his mind is so far beyond what most others that I knew at that time in my life were about.
Yeah.
And for that, I think he taught me a lot, you know, that there's more to it than just what's in front of your eyes.
We had some good collaborations that you guys had. I mean, Nick was shooting film, which was almost becoming unheard of at that stage.
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing. I mean, I grew up in film and I was able to scan it, so that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, apart from the fold-out cover, we did that outside the box sort of spread, and we did those collections of shots together. You had a big banger in that one as well, down in Sydney Park.
Oh, the free talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick.
A spot that I don't think anyone's really ever hit.
I tried to jump it and it's really hard.
It's uphill again.
That's one of those 28.9 gearing phases. Funny thing is that I never changed my gearing back from when I did that. The whip up bit, I just kept it as that. I'm like, this fucking
You're going
rocks.
faster forever now.
I think Gary Young runs that too.
Easy.
I think he's gassing up on that. That's like, 'cause there's so much. When you go back to
Start
riding
racing,
normal
dude.
gearing, you go nowhere.
Spins. It's flatland, dude.
I can't race him. I got a Rexy now. I just race that.
Yeah, from Campbelltown.
That's it.
That's the poor man's Porsche.
I guess moving on from your like filming stuff, bringing it back to John for a little bit. I rewatched the Afray Mixtape the other day.
Yeah, that thing was
and
sick.
That we'll get onto Afray as a brand in a second, but that mixtape, when that thing dropped, everyone took notice, and it was borderline genius. Like, it was the way it was shot, the way it was composed,
Just genius.
the writing. Like, how many years old is that? Maybe 6, 7?
No, fuck, maybe 5. I reckon.
No,
5,
6.
5, 6, 6.
Easy
6.
2012, maybe.
I think the minds behind that is like the writing itself will always speak for itself if you put the right people in front of the camera. And the team was a great choice on Mikey's behalf, but Mikey himself and John collaborating together to using both of their perspectives to make this work is what made that. The songs that they chose, the way that they drafted that to have it like the black and gray with the color and stuff coming in, like it's pure creativity and believing in yourself to make that happen. You know, they weren't trying to be anyone else but themselves, and that's what speaks the most about it, in my eyes.
It was like the perfect storm. Like, and just watching it again the other day, the writing is still like, it holds water. You know, it holds weight, and it's still amazing. And I was watching it just thinking like, holy shit. I remember when that thing came out. I have memories from then, but also just watching it again, I got so stoked to go riding. Like, I mean, the team itself was just, you know, Stretton, Zach Miner, obviously you, Macca, who else was it? Raf was in there as well.
Raf,
like,
Liam Verhampton. Oh no, Liam Verhampton. Yeah, Liam Verhampton and Zingbergs.
Yeah, oh, dude.
I think there's on there too.
Is Zingbergs in there? I think Zingbergs in there, isn't he? I can't remember.
But I feel like that.
Pretty sure he is.
That was a real sort of almost
Jerry V.
Yeah,
Jez
Jerry.
is in there too. I think Mikey chose a lot of riders that their type of style is timeless in itself, and the tricks that they do. It's like, it's not. We didn't have gnarly, cutting edge Garrett, fucking Reynolds people, and like Logan Martins. You know what I mean? But we had people that they know what they did to like what they like to do, and they did it to the best that they could. You know, and they did it fucking well. And at the end of the day, that's what makes something great. You know, you don't have to be the fucking best. You just got to do it your way and make it worth it. And that's what I think that in the combination of John and Mikey's mind made a masterpiece.
I think anybody who's listening to this needs to go and Google or YouTube or maybe on Vimeo Afray Mixtape and prepare to get stoked. It was so good.
Indeed.
I guess, and
brace yourself.
With Afray, like, tell us a bit about your relationship with Mikey and just what that brand meant. I mean, like, it really kind of took everyone by storm. Like, it was just like, came out of nowhere. It was fucking sick. Everyone loved it. And it was definitely almost, like just a bookmark of a certain period and a certain aesthetic too of BMX in this country. And it was just really, I don't know, like, I really dug it. And I think a lot of people did.
Definitely. I think that BMX needed something like that to have more than just what was like a BMX brand. It wasn't really just BMX itself. It was more of like a lifestyle, another like a freestyle, like wear company, like a streetwear in itself. Beyond Mikey's like videography, like type of perspective, he also knew streetwear and he knew what he wanted to do. You know, I met him only briefly before it all kicked off through Chris Courtney, because he was riding for Ryder, Mikey was working up there. But as soon as we met each other, we kicked off because we had similar interests, you know, like both liked skateboarding, hip hop, all that type of stuff. So we just got along really well. And then when he was going to like create this, I think we're at the cabaret, he was telling me about it, and I'm like, that sounds pretty good. I was fucking drunk as well, but anything sounds good, you know? So he was like, he wanted to do this, but he wanted to do it right. And it probably didn't kick off for about a year after that. And then when he started to get some samples together, and he just sent some to me before I was even writing for him, anything like that, just to test it out, just to go from there. And I'm like, if this guy's going to this much effort and he's holding his word and he's just wanting to help me out to this extent, then I'm going to support it, you know? Like, his heart was in the right place. And I was in that time in my life where I wanted to represent something that was raw and real, not just like something that was already pre-established, a US owned brand or something like that. I wanted to be a part of something, and lucky enough that I made that decision, because it was, you know, as you've said, it really was a staple in the BMX industry and the industry alone that Afray's the shit,
dude. Yeah,
and it still is.
And when it dropped, everyone was just instantly stoked on it. There was no one disliked it. Everyone loved it. And I don't know, man, like there's still like people are still like, can you get me an Afray hat?
That's it.
Like, can you still get those? And like, you know,
as things come and go, I like due to the fact that there was a period in time where Afray was the staple. It was the thing to have. But if things last forever, it loses its need, its relevance. You know what I mean? Like it can't fade away, because that period of time has come and it has gone, and it will be remembered. That's for sure. And that's what I liked about it.
yeah. And you mentioned earlier that you still have some shirts.
I got some Afray
still in
merch.
the wrapping. Like,
yeah, I'm selling it on
hanging on to
Gumtree. Let's just keep that separate from this podcast. No, I got one Afray shirt which I still have. That one of the limited edition drops which Mikey had out, and there was only 2 shirts that I got from that, and one I wore like fucking every day because I thought it was sick. It was like old English style Afray writing with like the 4-star underneath, and I got this like bright red one still in the packaging. Still haven't touched it. I just keep it like in my drawer at the bottom so it doesn't get fucked up, and I'll probably hold on to that forever. Same as with the mags, it goes back into the nostalgia drawer, kind of like the dungeon you got up here. I'll have a sketchier, weirder looking one, but that's just where I'm gonna have all the stuff that I love, you know.
Hell yeah.
Gotta have it, man.
And that's it.
I guess, I don't know, cruising along a little bit. Tell us a little bit about Danger in the chainless era. You definitely had no chain and sprocket for a minute.
Fuck, I had no chain for like 4 years.
Was that Liam Faye Hampton inspired?
Liam was the shit, and I think it was, but it wasn't that. I was just at Macfield skate park one day, and I broke my chain, and I was just mucking around, just riding around, and I've become really good at rail rides for some reason. I don't know why. It's just because I think I just didn't give a fuck. So I'm like, I'm just gonna jump on this thing, and then it was because they got this really long flat bar there, and it was working really well. Like I went from not knowing how to do it to like a fucking magnet across this thing. I'm like, don't know what it is, but I'm keeping this thing off. And because I had a license, I was driving around. I was just driving 2 spots. I didn't have to commute anywhere. So I had it off for a while, and then everything was like I could jump off higher drops and land backwards without it being an issue. And then that's when free coasters were becoming cool, but I could never adapt to the free coaster. Don't know what it was. I just didn't like it. I liked the fact that this was definitely not going to engage at any time.
Yeah,
it was
true.
And it was smooth. It was but it was an effort. It takes a lot of effort to learn how to ride chainless properly, because you gotta take pump and you gotta hop and take pump of every single thing you touch, and it makes you ride differently. You can be a little bit more creative and don't do the things that you normally do. And going back to like going through different stages of riding and phases and stuff, this was an additional chapter of that, and that's what I appreciated about it. Although I did go to China for one Asian X one time, and I was chainless. I was like, fuck it, I'm going there chainless. I didn't give a shit. But in China, it's really flat. You got to ride around everywhere. Unless you get hold onto the back of some guy's scooter that can only last for so long. I think I pushed like 25 Ks, like just pushed.
Was your right quadricep just like the biggest leg ever? Just from scooter? Or did you rotate legs?
It looked like I fucking played for... I was playing for the Roosters for sure by the end of that. Just my left leg, but...
I mean, you being chainless didn't slow your riding down in velocity wise. I mean,
no, you got to keep the speed for sure,
dude. I mean, like there was one time we're at Dully, and then Trent actually messaged John like a kind of question sort of thing, just saying like, how were you? We're doing trains, you and I, and I was pedaling, my 44 tooth sprocket.
Your back wheel's getting buzzed.
Yeah, and you're on my tail smoking the bandit. You're fucking like, you're definitely.
This
like,
was the Holmes Jam. I remember this.
You're chasing
You
me.
got footage from that.
You're chasing me down,
Yeah.
and you've got you got 35 psi on your tires too.
Yeah, that was sluggish.
I'm pumped up to 100 with my big ass sprocket pedaling
Ready
in
to
between
roll.
ramps, and you were with me the whole way, and it didn't make sense, but it was like.
That's what I mean about there's so many like, don't look at something as a negative. Like a chain is a form of speed, but it's not the be all and end all of bike riding. You know, where a lot of people think that speed and pedaling and hitting a ramp is what you need to do, but you can really learn so much more about your bike control without that. Take the shit off that you need to keep you going, and then imagine how far you can go without it. Like learning how to pump and manual and air and do all of that stuff, even just doing a tire tap with no brakes or chain, it's like that special point that you land on. But when you do land on it, it's so much control compared to when just holding in a lever to stand there.
I think they call that Jedi.
Yeah, a bit like that, like
We've gone
hovering,
deep.
the hovering of it. Yeah, but that's what I liked about it. Like going through, man, I've fucking had every single setup there probably is to have. Like I started chip brakeless, that's because I didn't have any money for brakes, not by choice, you know. But then gyro, brakeless single cable, even that weird knock-on cable that everyone thought was cool because Kevin Porter had it. That was really shit. And it cost
Ruben had it
$100.
too.
Oh, those
Yeah.
stupid like with
That
all the
crappy
beads.
thing.
They're
Yeah,
like the beads. I
thought
think
that was
Trent's still
cool.
running one, isn't
that chainless.
What?
Pegless, fucking 4 pegs, 3 pegs, all that. Just going through. Don't limit yourself. Like what? There's no need to. You don't need to stay narrow yourself down to one thing. I think growing up, people idolize a rider, so they want to mimic that, replicate. And,
Of course.
And I went through the Aiken phase. I think everyone in that time frame did, and it was a good thing to do because that was someone worthy of replicating. You know, like he really was the man. But learning little bits and pieces from each phase that you go through really, I think, has made me who I am now, you know, and like the way that I ride, like there is no type, like there is no certain style that I feel that I have or anything like that. It's like, I'll do what I feel like doing at that point in time.
Yeah.
Even if doing what you feel like doing is doing a flare in the pouring rain with no chain at Dulwich Hill.
Yes.
When it was, I think, Shadow Conspiracy,
Yeah.
Keep It Local.
Fuck, I was pretty drunk
tour,
too. I'm
and
lucky I
we're
didn't
all
crash.
Sitting under that little fucking rotunda
Yeah.
awning thing, and you know, Shadow dudes were there and 666 dudes, and we're just like, well, it's pouring. Everyone does a slab of EBs floating around,
Yeah, sure.
and
was.
the park was exceptionally wet. And
Slippery.
oh, hang on, what's Danger doing? Oh shit, he just did a flare. Perfect transition. Caught it, and no chain. All right, you just roll in like nothing happened. Who's got the beer, boys?
Yeah.
know?
Catch you later. I'm leaving.
You might have scooted out of there after that. I don't know.
I think I did.
Yeah, man.
I'm out.
Well, that's it. I mean, beyond BMX and adapting and evolving and redefining your riding, you've done a lot more outside of riding. Was that due to injury or just, again, not limiting yourself? I mean, I've talked to you about snowboarding in the past. I know you went big in skimboarding.
I think there really was a point. I can't narrow it down to like what it was, or it's probably a combination of things which just like beyond my knowledge. But I literally did have like a day like 4 or 5 years ago where like I just woke up and like I don't want to do this anymore. You know, like I think I just really thought to myself that like I've spent the last 20 years riding my bike, and that's all I ever did. Like I lived, breathed BMX. That's all. Like people, I went to school like thought I was retarded because like they wouldn't they couldn't teach me things because I didn't care. Like in my mind, it's like I'm fucking riding as soon as I get out of this school. Yeah. See you tomorrow, and we're gonna go do the same thing, you know. And then like there's I figured that like I think I might have been hurt. I'm like this. So now that I'm hurt, I can't ride. There's nothing else that I'm doing. What else can I do, you know? And then a Chilean friend of mine, Ariel, got me into, he had a skimboard. Yeah. And I went to the beach with him and like tried to, he's like, it was like skating wave. Like you could run into the waves and skate it. I'm like, this is fucking nuts, man. Then tried it. I'm like, this is so hard. It's going to take me a little while to learn how to do this. But I figured like, if I spent so much time and effort learning how to do this, why can't I put that into something else and then take something more from that? And as that, using that same perception, getting into surfing, getting into snowboarding, learning more about myself and what there is in life. You know what I mean? I think I was limiting myself. I was expanding my writing so much, but I was limiting myself in life. Yeah. And I wanted more than just that. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to be that living, breathing, walking, bike riding person, you know, because to me, I felt like there was more that I needed to learn, you know what I mean?
There's more to life, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But it really is like, it like casted a spell on me in like a cheesy fucking way, but it did. That's all I fucking did. You know what I mean? Like I was, anywhere there was a riding event, anywhere there was something happening, I was there. No questions asked. I've lost so many jobs because of it. You know what I mean? Like, but there comes a point in time where you really need to take things a little bit more seriously, where things are at. You're going to be a bit more responsible, you know. And like I think I'm at that time in my life, but I appreciate the challenge, and I can happily live my life knowing that I've done everything that I've wanted to do in BMX. Like I don't leave this as a salty dude that's at the football club saying I fucking used to be good, you know. Like I'm never going to be that fuckhead, you know.
Yeah, you don't want those dudes,
you know. But like I'm content, I'm happy, you know. Yeah. Now it's time to live my life.
Yeah.
So you also didn't mention your skateboard stuff. Like,
oh yeah, the old skateboard stuff.
You were really fucking good at riding a skateboard. I remember turning up to Macquarie Field Skate Park the first time I went there. Never been there before. And you were there, and I was like, Rad, Danger's here. I haven't seen him in a bit. And then you were just skating, you went riding, and you were skating better than all of the skaters, all the local skaters there. You were absolutely destroying them. You were so much better.
Oh, thanks, bro.
And I was like, I hadn't never seen you. I knew you skated, but I hadn't seen you skate before. And I was like, holy shit, you're that guy. You have.
That's the O.C.D. It's like I can't stop until I've done somewhat an appropriate amount of effort. You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm not fucking stopping. Like I'll stay there all night if I have to. You know what I mean? Or until I've broken myself. But like it's like you just can't stop, because if I leave, it's going to be on my mind and it's going to piss me off, and I'm going to be fucking thinking about it until I go there next time. You know?
Yeah.
But the skating, how that worked is, as we were talking about before, with like Campbelltown's got that community. It wasn't just bike riders that got together; it was the skaters too. So when a lot of skateboarders stopped riding Campbelltown, when Macfields opened up, a lot of them come out of the woodwork, and it was like a good year of like party town at that park. Everyone would come there with just beers of an afternoon. And then when I was riding there, I seen no one was really riding there at the time when I was there, but a lot of the skaters that I knew from ages ago were coming out. And I just got a board because I think I broke my wrist. And I used to go down there with them, just hang out with them, have some beers, skate around. And then I was like, this is fun. You know, I can learn a little bit more from this, and just kind of got hooked on that and was pushing myself just to start something new and fresh and do all of that and kind of go from there. Like, I don't think there's all, like, you can really do whatever you want if you put your mind to it. You should never sell yourself short. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what it is. I could learn to fucking kayak tomorrow. You know what I mean? And then if I like it enough, then I'll push that as far as I physically can.
You're gonna jump off some waterfalls?
It's possible. One thing, I'd love to base jump or skydive, but I fucking scared of heights. Funny enough.
Hook up with Hoffman.
Yeah, that would be cool. I just go and he just tandem me. Just hold on.
That's it.
Good bonding experience.
That's it, man.
And I feel like you're gonna be good at whatever you do, whenever you do it. And I feel like,
thanks, Tom.
when you're old, shit, you're gonna be like national championship lawn bowls. Becomes danger.
I'm a bit competitive when it comes to that. but the good thing with BMX and stuff like these sports is like you're competing against yourself. I never really got into the team style of sport, because it's either mentality, personality, or just all of that in general. But with BMX and skateboarding and all of those sports, is that it is whatever you make it. A skateboard can be a skateboard, or it can be a fucking doorstop. It doesn't do anything until you touch it.
Yeah. And
it only takes you to use it. I don't have to rely on my teammate.
You don't let a team
to start
down.
that.
The team doesn't let you down.
No. The only person you let down is yourself. You know, and the only person you have to blame, or the only person that's responsible for your injuries or success, is yourself. Yeah. Which is great, because it gives you especially good self-awareness and good self-esteem. Yeah. And a lot of people out there got very bad self-esteem for especially being in team sports where people blame you for things and bully you and things like that. Like they can fuck people's lives up, you know. But having a sport like this is very healthy.
It's a legit sport now, dude. It's the Olympics in 2020.
Yeah, not for the drug testing, but a lot of people are gonna have to get fucked up.
Boom. Yeah, it's very true.
But having said that, I don't reckon even though that they'll say, yeah, you can't have any drugs in your system, there is no performance enhancing drug that you can take to help you ride bikes. Yeah. Speed and size, but maybe in racing, but speed and size doesn't help you in any form of in freestyle BMX.
I don't know. I mean, I remember the time when, you know, G2 was really blowing up. Of course, it was that.
People doing gym and stuff.
Everyone got real big so they could hit the ground hard. I remember talking to Cam White, and he goes, "I got big because if I hit the ground because the jumps were getting very big at that time, I can hit the ground, I can get back up, I can keep riding."
I get that
because he was my size when he was riding Gungahlin as a kid.
I get that, but say from like the point when you start to where you're at that point, there's nothing that you can do to like it's like time and effort and persistence that gets you there. And even when you're at that peak form, probably for crashing, but that doesn't make you tail whip better or double flip better or anything like that, you know. Like, so that's where I think BMX and skateboarding will always have the advantage of where we're never going to get outed for having some dude fucking was doping or something like that. They'll be doping in a different way.
First snowboard at the Olympics, first snowboard medal, the Canadian guy got done for part. He lost his silver medal.
Yeah, it's gonna make you more relaxed.
That's it.
But that's the Olympics at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's cool. You know, like it depends on how it's like. There's always goods and bads and pros and cons with everything, but the fact that it's recognized as an actual legitimate sport where you are an athlete. You are a fucking athlete to do it. Like, even though you don't go through it in the same way where that you can't really be coached that well to do this sport, you kind of, it's very independent.
I sat in meetings at the Institute of Sport
to
and
explain
the Sports
to them that that's not like that.
With Daly, it's like, and we got coaches asking us, have you got high performance athlete coaching plans and nutrition? Like, no, there's fast food restaurant over there. And
KFC and VB, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a weird one. I mean, I don't know how much funding will go to the freestyle side of things, but the potential for medals by Australians is pretty damn high.
The publicity you'll get from it, and just the fact that it's going to be put on a global platform for people out there that don't know what it is, and now they are going to be aware of what it's about, I think is great. That's the pro. The cons, as you said, about how much funding and how it's and what process, how people get chosen and all of that stuff.
It's gonna be wacky as, isn't it?
That's going to be wacky. But
and then I've got and how people that know nothing about freestyle. I mean, freestyle compared to say racing's very much the first person over the line wins the race. It's black and white. Whereas freestyle, obviously, there's judging involved, but also style versus tricks and all that sort of stuff. Like, how do you even how do you teach someone who's never ridden freestyle how to be a coach and how to train our high performance team or whatever? I mean, I was in the States last year hanging out with Fids, and Fids was basically telling me that British cycling has sort of come to him and some of the other guys saying, how do we train a coach? Like, you have to write a program that teaches a coach how to be a coach for freestyle.
If Fids is running the BMX team for the UK, I'm scared because they're going to win everything.
Well, they're going to be the fucking
what they've done.
Raddest, loosest.
Rob Darden's the Chinese coach for the Chinese riders. So I
Really?
think they're actually using.
He's getting a wage from China.
They're like paying pros, I think, or even in the US they might even have a rider being the coach because that makes sense. Because having someone like that, Darden's. He's done it all. He's been to X Games. He's been to Jew Tours. He's a veteran. You know, he can. It's not about also teaching them tricks and etc. But it's persistence. When to how to coordinate your run, how things work, endurance, all of that stuff.
How to be able to get up with a hangover and ride.
And he's like a full power lifter.
He's massive,
beast. He's a beast because he went for a time where he was like the younger guy partying, riding a lot, all that type of stuff, and like got a bit obese I'm falling apart. You know, so really
George Foreman grill and
so going to the gym, eating right, training right, and that's when he was killing it at the Jew Tour and doing that stuff because he needed to treat himself more like an athlete instead of a fucking beanbag.
Talking about the Chinese team, I saw a doco a while back with some surf crew about the Chinese government's funding a whole surf program.
The wave, well, like Kelly Slater style.
Yeah, but training like Chinese athletes who didn't surf to have a surf team that compete at the top level.
I think Yao Ming wasn't a
That's
basketball
crazy.
player at the start.
Who?
Yao Ming, that Chinese,
Oh,
that
wow.
big, like he's like
Yeah.
tall as fuck. He's like Chinese. It's like China's
I mean, yeah, that's a
Michael
different-
Jordan.
Yeah.
But he was just tall, and they just taught him to play. I'm pretty sure.
I
Could
mean,
be wrong.
that's how, I guess, whole German sports commission, like the East German, back in the day, that's how they did it. They would pick someone for their physical attributes and train them. And I guess that's what the Australian Sports Commission will do because they're based on that.
Yeah, I think with
Kids
surf,
won't even run
So
BMX.
wacky, dude. So wacky.
it's going to be a little bit trickier. Like, even with learning to surf for myself, like there's so like the thing with riding is like it's hard to learn.
Yeah.
But you have the ramp there. The ramp doesn't move. It
doesn't
Rain,
change.
hail, or shine, you can do it again and again and again and again. With surfing, it's not like that. You got to wait for conditions, good or bad. Paddle out there, learn how to hold the board on your chest, how to
Kit's
stand
different
up,
every time.
do it all again. Wave speed, how to duck dive, endurance, all that stuff, and not drown. You know what I mean? And not have some fucking dude punch in the head.
Yeah.
Like
That's
there's
only
so
in Sydney, dude. That's only in Sydney.
There's so much more. There's so much more to some of these sports, which like that people in theory looks like, oh yeah, it doesn't look that hard. You can
Apply
learn to
science
do
to
it,
that.
but
You can't.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's impossible.
Yeah, man. Well, man, like beyond Olympics, what's up for you in the future?
Keeping it real. I'm happy where I am right now, man. Like, I don't ride as so much anymore. When there's like things like opportunities like this, comps, people come into town, I'm always there. You know, it's my family. You know, I've spent more time with people like yourselves than I've spent with my own family. Like, it's not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to go anywhere. My history is in here and fucking virtual land. Once this shit's uploaded, you know, it is what it is. So like, it's always going to be a part of me. But there comes a point where I got to move on with my life, you know. I got a good family now. I'm happy. Got a good job, and like it's just fucking. There's so much more to life that I want to capture, you know. I can't tell you one thing as if that I'm gonna do. It's just fucking one day at a time forward,
Sounds good.
smiling.
Oh, that sounds good, man.
And that's it. Yeah.
You've always had a pretty awesome and I guess sort of philosophical like outlook on life, and you think a lot, which is awesome. And tonight was rad because it kind of felt like it could have been any old night at the Cordy, Courthouse Hotel in Newtown. We've definitely had many conversations like this.
It always is. Every time I see you boys, it's basically this, just talking to each other. It's not really so much, hey, friends first, riding later.
Yeah,
Totally,
I like that.
man.
I like that.
But having said that, I feel like the world would be very excited to see some danger clips. Fresh danger clips dropping.
We can maybe drop a 30-second mixtape after this thing.
Oh,
Yes.
lights still on across at Lamia? Maybe not.
Maybe not now. We can get out there. If there's any place that I'm ever going to ride, it's Campbelltown. That place has got a soft spot for my heart. It's the only place I actually would want to ride, even if I was going to do it.
Okay.
I still got a bike up and running, ready to roll. I'm about to get that road bike up and running from yourself.
Hell yeah, man.
I can do those park laps at high speed. I can't have a chainless road bike, but it's a bit of fucking shit.
Just push up the Harbour Bridge.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do it.
I got to get one of those whippersnipper motors on it. That's Campbelltown
yeah.
style.
Yeah, there's a local dude here who has one, and you can hear him coming. It's so good.
It's DUI city, that one, isn't
Yeah,
it?
you lose your license, you get one of those. I guess.
And you don't hate on bikes as much after you lost your license because you got to ride one. That's the tradie who drives past and doesn't honk at you.
fucking cyclists.
You lost
hang
your
on.
license last month, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I guess it's time to wrap it all up. Like, is anyone you want to thank on here, like in the airwaves? You want to give a shout out to anyone? You want to kind of thank anyone?
I'd like to thank everyone here for giving me this opportunity, for being good friends and paving the right pathway for people like myself to walk down. Family, friends, Terry, Neil, Troy, everyone out there that's giving me a couch to sleep on, giving me a couple beers to drink, and all those beers that I will drink in the future to the future people that I meet. Till then.
Oh, yeah, well, cheers to that. And you're welcome anytime, man. Thank you.
Thank you,
Cheers,
man.
boys. Fucking empty.
You.
Freshie there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Job well done.
That's a wrap.
Boom.